Welcome to another episode of Bent Not Broken. Heartbreak and trauma may feel like the end of your story, but here it's the beginning of a bold new chapter. I'm your host, Coach Deborah Griffiths, and this is the space where women rise, rebuild, and rediscover their purpose. Remember this truth: you are bent, not broken. Welcome back to Bent Not Broken, your bonus coaching episode. I'm your host, Coach Deborah Griffiths. In today's episode with Heather Sweeney, we talked about something that many women experience, but they often struggle to put into words: losing themselves inside a relationship. Heather shared how she spent years supporting her husband's Navy career, raising children, moving around the world, and doing everything a good military spouse was expected to do. But when the marriage ended, she realized something powerful and painful at the same time. She had spent so long taking care of everyone else that she no longer knew who she was. And if you're listening to this and thinking, that sounds like me, I want you to know something important. You are not alone. Many women, especially those who spent years supporting a partner's career, raising children, or holding a household together, wake up one day and realize they've slowly abandoned their own voice. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens in small moments. When you stop speaking up because it feels easier to keep the peace. When your dreams get pushed to the side because someone else's career takes priority. When your passions slowly become someday instead of today. And over time, those small compromises can turn into chronic self-abandonment. But here's the truth. The moment you begin to recognize it is the moment you can begin reclaiming yourself. So today I want to share 3 steps to start rebuilding your identity after divorce or after leaving a relationship where you lost parts of yourself. First, reconnect with what brings you back to life. Heather talked about running and joining a marathon training group after her divorce. It gave her something healthy, social, and empowering to focus on. Ask yourself this question. What used to light me up before life got so heavy? Maybe it was writing. Maybe it was art. Maybe it was travel, fitness, music, or learning something new. You don't have to reinvent your life overnight. You just have to take one small step back towards yourself. Second, rebuild your confidence through action. Confidence doesn't come from thinking differently. It comes from doing things that prove to yourself that you are capable. For some women, that means returning to the workforce. For others, it means learning to manage finances for the first time. Sometimes it's simply making decisions on your own again. Every step you take builds evidence that you are stronger than you thought, and that strength compounds over time. Third, give yourself grace while you heal. Heather said something powerful in the interview. The first year after divorce was one of the hardest years of her life, and that's true for many people. There are moments of grief, moments of uncertainty, moments where you wonder if you made the right decision. Healing isn't linear, but if you keep moving forward, even in small steps, you will eventually find yourself in a place where you look back and realize you didn't just survive, you rebuilt. You discovered your voice, and you created a life that finally reflects who you truly are. That is what Bent Not Broken is all about. Life may bend us, but those experiences can shape us into stronger, wiser, more authentic versions of ourselves. If today's episode spoke to you and you're navigating a life transition, whether it's divorce, rebuilding your confidence, or rediscovering your identity, I want to invite you to take the next step. You don't have to go through this journey alone. I offer one-on-one discovery calls where we talk about where you are, where you want to go, and how you can begin creating your next chapter with clarity and confidence. You can schedule a call with me using the link in the show notes below. And if this episode helped you, please consider sharing it with a friend who might need to hear the message today. Because the more we talk about these experiences, the more we remind women everywhere that they are not alone. Thank you for listening to Bent, Not Broken. And remember, you may be bent by life's challenges, but you are never broken. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Bent, Not Broken. I hope that this episode reminded you that even through life's toughest moments, you are bent, not broken. If this message inspired you, please share, rate, review, and subscribe, as it helps us reach more women who are ready to rise and rebuild. And until next time, keep living bold and walking in your purpose.